There are many lawyers that say he can't run for president, and the Democrats are going to bring a lawsuit. I know many Democrats, they're bringing a lawsuit as soon as, if he got the nomination, they would bring a lawsuit that he's not eligible to run. He was born in Canada. When you're a citizen of Canada, and you were born in Canada, there's a real question. A lot of people say you have to be born of the land, meaning on the land. How can you vote for somebody where there's a question? I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm just saying there's a big question. And you can't have your nominee with a question. It's impossible to do.
All right. We'll put it to Steve King as promised. Congressman Steve King, Republican from Iowa, U.S. Congressman, member of the Subcommittee on Immigration and Border Security, member of the Subcommittee on Agriculture, Energy, and Trade. Hello, Congressman.
Hey, Steve, thanks a lot for having me on.
It is.
Also, I'm on the Constitution Subcommittee of the House Judiciary Committee and have been for 13 years. So that adds to the topic we're taking up here today.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you, is Donald Trump onto something, or is he off base completely? How do you feel about the eligibility of Ted Cruz?
Well, I've looked deeply into this as a constitutional issue, and I read a fair amount of the scholarship on it, and I went to some balanced looks on parts of attorneys as well, and it really comes down to this. And it's really, really simple, and Donald Trump now knows this, and he understands it, and he should have to answer to this in the debate tonight, and that is, there are only two ways to become a citizen of the United States of America. You can either be natural born, or you can be naturalized. And no one questions the citizenship of Ted Cruz. He is an American citizen. That's not questioned by anybody. And so the question only becomes, was he natural born or naturalized? Well, he was not naturalized as an American citizen, therefore he is natural born, and he was natural born citizen, automatically a citizen at birth. He didn't have to apply. His citizenship came to him by virtue of his mother being born in Wilmington, Delaware, and his parents were just working outside of the country temporarily, as if they were missionaries or whatever. I actually don't know what they were doing. I don't believe they were missionaries, but they were working outside the country. The only distinction between him and, let's say, Mitt Romney, whom, by the way, I would note that Donald Trump didn't question the natural-born citizenship of Mitt Romney. Romney was born in Mexico, and Ted Cruz was born in Canada to one American citizen parent, and Romney was born, while his parents were missionaries in Mexico, to two American citizen parents. That's the only distinction, and Trump is doing what Trump does. But I will tell you, I believe he knows better. And they found Lawrence Tribe, the Harvard professor of law, to say that he questioned this in a way, and that citizenship comes with the land.
Right.
No, the land you're born on, that goes back to the old sovereign, the king, when you were the subject of the king. And we're not the subject of the king. We are people who are we the people, and the government is our subject. So America has a completely different philosophy than Old England, and they've got to go back to Old England to make their argument. Cruz is not running for president of England or king of England. He's running for president of the United States. Well, there's no question about him being a natural-born citizen.
Congressman, do you expect this to be an issue at the debate tonight?
Well, I hope so, because I think it's about time that Ted Cruz and Donald Trump had a face-to-face discussion. I think it would be really good to have that flurry of verbal punches between the two of them, so that the public can see the difference between Donald Trump and Ted Cruz.
All right, now let's move to Iowa. Of course, your home state. What are we going to see when those caucuses come about? The polls are certainly tightening, and is it going to be Trump? Is it going to be Cruz, and why?
Well, right now I say it's more likely to be Cruz. I think it'll be a relatively tight race. Cruz is up in the polls a little bit over Trump, although I think Quinnipiac had Trump up by 1 the other day. And the question becomes, in the end, here's what's happened. Trump has been leading in almost all the polls in the country for a long, long time, and that's to his credit for a lot of reasons. But in Iowa, Cruz made a surge starting about in the early middle part of November, and his ascendancy, when his opposition realized that he was ascending, then they turned it into a game of political king of the hill. And all guns got turned on Ted Cruz. For some reason, they don't turn them on Donald Trump. They turn them on Ted Cruz. And Trump is the beneficiary of the negative attacks on Cruz. So that's why that's tightened, in my opinion. So I believe over the next 2 weeks, we don't know what kind of dramatic things might change it. But if nothing dramatic happens, then I think that there'll be more people come out on Cruz's side. I think he's up in the polls. I think he'll stay there, but I think it'll be tight. The question is, can Trump do something dramatic to cause a turnout of people that have never gone to caucus before, which more characterizes his supporters? I don't know if he can do that. It would be blazing a new trail in politics, and of course he's done that fairly consistently. So no one knows. You can't predict Trump. But I would say this: it's going to be Cruz, then Trump in a tight race, and I think Marco Rubio a distant third.
All right, let me ask you. You were in Baltimore today for the Republican retreat. Talk about what's going to be discussed there.
Well, we're putting together our legislative strategy for the year. It's Republican senators and House members. And it's the only time of the year that we all get together and have a chance to talk these things through. And I just left a very serious national security and foreign policy discussion. And the panel that we had there is just stellar, a stellar panel that's led by former Senator Jim Talent. But the people on the panel were Ambassador Ryan Crocker, who I've known him a long time in the Iraq and Afghanistan theater. He's tremendous. General Ray Odierno, Robert Kagan of the Brookings Institute, and General Michael Hayden, who former director of the CIA.
Frequent guest. But Congressman, any talk about how to blunt the executive orders that we know Barack Obama will be signing this year?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that, Steve. I actually wouldn't have offered it if you hadn't. And that is that I learned day before yesterday that I've been named to chair a committee that will be looking into restoring the Article I authority back to the United States Congress and looking at executive overreach. So I will have a stellar panel. It's all drawn out of the House Judiciary Committee. People like Jim Sensenbrenner, Darrell Issa, Jim Jordan, Trey Gowdy, others. I'll be chairing a stellar panel. It'll be bipartisan if the Democrats participate. We're first going to build a list of the executive overreach and then try to sort it in a way that we can put a strategy together to restore that Article I authority. But if we elect a president who was happy to participate with that, it'll get a lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Congressman, thank you for joining us, sir. Very interesting. We'll speak to you soon.
Thank you. All my pleasure, Steve.
All right, you take care. Congressman Stephen King, ladies and gentlemen. All right, the Malzberg panel's next, but first, a reminder, join us tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern, for Newsmax TV's full debate coverage. That's immediately following the Republican presidential debate in North Charleston, South Carolina. I'll be joined by my colleague J.D. Hayworth, as well as Dick Morris, Michael Reagan, Dennis Michael Lynch, and others. That's 11 p.m. Eastern tonight, only on Newsmax Television. Don't go away.